wander in my room, no trace left here of you. Cold call another person or two, seems like I'm the only one home. Aligned with the sun, shadows on everyone, no reason to run, hide out inside. Just stay at home, so lost and alone. Be here, unknown, don't tell a soul. Bad taste, can't seem to get it out. Blank space where you shut my mouth. Filled yours with love to spit it out. I thought we wanted the same thing. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye, now let me try to sleep. But don't care to say goodnight. It would be a lie, another fleeting dream. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye, you never meant anything. You mean nothing to me. Just stay at home, so lost and alone. Be here, unknown, don't tell a soul. Been so down since you left, can't get out of this hole. Stay safe at home, so lost and alone.
Hi guys, apologies for that. Oh my god, what this technology is absolutely shafting me today. Hello everyone, welcome. I don't know what happened there, but for some reason the stream that I set up did not want to work, so I've had to do another one. Hopefully everyone was still able to find it. I know that's defeated the entire point of the redirect, but that is the state of play. Hopefully you guys can still find me. Shout out to LB for the raid. That's my bad for not utilizing it properly. But there we go. There will be a Marmouche analysis video coming. Don't worry. It'll be worth the wait, guys. It'll be worth the wait, and it will be the best one on YouTube. So don't worry about it. I'm not going to rush it. It's going to be correct. So don't worry about it. It's coming. That's my task for today, to try to do even more work on it. Big up to you, Slicky. Yeah, apologies. There was an issue. Hopefully everyone was able to come over, and I apologize again for that shambles of a situation. I don't know what happened. I think it was because I changed the stream after I scheduled it and then it got confused. I don't know, but either way, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. Oh yeah, we got to 21,000 again. Shout out to Uzbekistan for that, because that's basically why we've been able to get those followers in. Chill, it's coming, and again, it will be worth the wait. Was the Kusanov video worth the wait? Answer, yes it was. Gundar's back to his best, says Holland the Goat. Big up to you, Herbal. I've already watched 442's Marmouche video. Zubair, I've not seen theirs, but I can already guarantee mine will be better. That's how much confidence I have in my video. Yeah, big up to LB's raid. Rick JSP, All Hell City's new defensive cover. Right, guys. Do you know how long it takes to make these videos properly? To source the footage, to review the footage, to scout the players, to write the scripts, to edit the video, etc., etc. They take days, okay? I'm a little boy working on my own. Salute, says Letty. Yeah, big up. Hello, Bree. Question, is our approach of 3 kids the right approach given the state of our current defense? Would not one experienced defender plus 1 and 2 make more sense? I'm hoping for at least one experienced fullback to come in this jamboree. I do agree with you that some experience would be nice there at some point. I'm not watched the video. I'm being tongue in cheek there, but no, I just back my video. I'm sure it will be very good. No, it will be very good, and it'll be worth the wait, as I say. Let me just plug my phone in here. In today's show, oh my god, show, stop it. There will be analysis videos coming for every single player. There will be Marmouche. There will be. This is probably the order based on the current signings. Marmouche will be coming out first. Then it's going to be Hayes. And then it's going to be probably Echeverry. And then it's going to be Barr. And if we sign another player there, that might change the priorities and the order. Barr and Echeverry are on the back burner because they're not going to be playing for... Barr's not until next season at the earliest. And... the season after next at the earliest. And Echeverry don't think can play for us until like mid-Feb or something. So that's the order of priority. Don't worry, they'll all come out. The purpose of today's show, though, is to sort of discuss what Barr is as a player. I've done Kasanov, mate. What Barr is as a player. I have watched some of him, not enough to, have a total concrete opinion of him, but I feel like I have seen enough to be able to comment on him to an extent, and to hopefully tell you guys a little bit more about what he is as a player. I'm also just going to, I always forget, how do I spell his first name? Is it J-A-M what? Oh, Juma. Not Jama. Juma. But I always feel like there's an H at the end, but there isn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download his statistical report so I can tell you guys live a little bit more about the player that we have signed. Again, there is very little in respect of sample size for this player. He has played, I thought that was the case. He's played 10 games in La Liga. 10. So this is a very limited sample size that we are working with here. So whatever anyone says about this player, we obviously need to take it with a pinch of salt. He's not related to Demba Ba, no. He's from Sierra Leone. Demba Ba was it Senegal, I believe? So no, not quite. Oh my goodness me, what's happened here? I don't know what happened there. I clicked a button and it all... My screen went weird. I don't know what happened there. Right back. God, this is a shambles so far, isn't it? Don't worry, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Let me get the data for you guys. And it'll be an interesting time had by all. It'll be an interesting time. Let's see. Where's the folder I've saved it to? There it is. Lovely. Okay. Let's see where he ranks in La Liga this season for some things. Okay, so why does he rank so high for dribbles? What's going on? This must be relative to other defenders, surely. Yeah, displaying defenders. No, displaying players. Oh, no, yeah, central defenders. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. He's number 4 in La Liga for dribbles. I was like, how? But obviously it's comparing defenders. I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. That's reasonable. That's fairs. Aerial duel success rate. Listen to this, guys. Aerial duel success rate, 76%. That is mental. This guy is 6'5", and you are not beating him in the air. That is absolutely obscene. Now, the volume of defensive duels isn't that exciting, but again, the success rate, it's 75%. It's absolutely insane. What about his offensive duels? He ranks 9th for volume of offensive duels. And he's, again, a child. He's 18 years old, but he's 6'5". He's as tall as Van Dijk, which is a madness. So from a physical perspective, he's an immediate upgrade on like any centre back currently at City. He is right-footed. It's a shame he's not left-footed. I wanted him to be left-footed, but I can't have everything nice. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that from a physicality perspective, he's like already there, really, at 18 years old, which is a madness. So, and again, from the very little I've seen of him, and again, everyone's only seen very little of him because 10 games in La Liga is all anyone's really got to go off. There's no like national appearances to go off, international appearances to go off, for example. He's tidy on the ball, and his passing numbers aren't and his passing generally isn't like exceptional, and it's not amazing. But you got to bear in mind, like, the team he's playing for, where are they in La Liga? Like, they aren't. He's not playing for Real Madrid, is he? He's not playing for a Barcelona. He's playing for a side which sits bottom of La Liga. There you go. They are literally bottom. So he's playing in a team which is not that good, and isn't going to be able to be that expansive. So the fact that we can still see nice signs in terms of his overall play is very, very promising. When you couple that, and the fact he's 18 years old, you couple that with the fact that he's not even coming straight into the team, is he? We are sending him, according to Fabrizio, apparently, we are sending him on loan to Lon, given our nice relationship that we now have following the Kusanov deal. That is lovely. That's perfect. Allow him to develop, because Lon are going to be a far more expansive side than the Real Valladolid. Where is he at right now? Can't recall the name exactly. Lon are far more expansive in that sense. Like, Kusanov was able to show off his on-ball ability for Lon, so hopefully a similar vibe there that can develop his game. And then you're probably looking at him starting, or rather coming into the City team at the absolute earliest in what, for the start of the 26-27 season, aren't you? So, and that's absolutely at the absolute earliest. We might do an Arsenal and Saliba situation where they send him out on loan in France for 2 years. Might be a similar vibe. And that's absolutely right. Yeah, Musty. France is a great league to develop in, especially if you are a centre-back. It's a great league to purchase centre-backs from, you know, because of that physicality aspect. And again, Lon being a team which isn't exactly the same as City, but is similar to a degree, to an extent. So that's also quite exciting as well. Hello, guys. Again, apologies for the shambolic start to the show, but hopefully you guys will still enjoy it. Today, as I say, we're discussing we're discussing the general transfer window. Leave a like on the video. It is free and it does really help. Please give me the Marmish video now. But Phil, I physically can't. Give it to you now because it's not done yet. You see? I can, like, send you the script if you want. You can write the Etchero script if you'd like, mate. Neymar analysis. Shut up. Pogba analysis video. Shut up. I'm a busy boy, absolutely. I've taken a look at buys. Very good in the air. Nobbins, we need that 100% Faisal. 100%. It's crazy. Call him JB. Hello, Spartacus. Imagine he's dribbling more than Mbappe. That's why I was so confused at first. I was like, there's no way that's true. Surely not. How do you avoid copyright? With very clever use of editing. That is how. And trial and error. Can I score from corners? Well, he's not yet scored a goal, but given his ridiculous height and strength and aerial abilities, it seems only a matter of time that would be a thing. Like, I don't know how you'd stop him from a corner. So surely that's a thing. Only 2 years ago, he was playing barefoot, mad. Expect him to be as good as Van Dijk right away. Yeah, 100%. He resembles a block of flats. Basically made Lon be Jerome 2.0. Hey, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. Guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. So that's the situation there. So that's exciting. Now, Bree brought up a very sensible comment at the start of the show, saying, you know, is this wise to do City's transfer policy right now, where we're bringing in 3 very inexperienced centre-backs in relative terms, you know? Bart is going out on loan, so that sort of scratches him off. But, you know, in Kusanov and Hayes, we've got 2 relatively inexperienced defenders. Hayes hasn't even played 20 league games in Brazil. Kusanov is probably going to be the one who's going to be most easily able to go into the first team from the off. I suspect that he'll be the first to get a start out of the 2. Ideally, we would bring in someone more experienced. This is why we're being linked, you know, Cambiaso, a fullback. This is why I want a Singo. Ideally, that would be happening. I'm not going to be, like, totally distraught if we don't bring in this defender, but it would make a lot of sense for us to try and do that. It obviously remains to be seen whether that will actually happen. So there is a little bit of concern, but at the same time, you've got to accept that this defense just needs a total overhaul. It needs a total, tearing down and rebuilding based on this season anyway. You know, with Ake being out for spells, John Stones just being out for spells again, Kyle Walker leaving the club, Rico Lewis is even a potential option at the back four. That's a question to be had. You know, the decline of Akanji, again, that's partly due to a positional situation, but still, that's been a case. So we do need to rebuild that at some point, and there's no guarantee it all works out, but it's not like we're spending mental money on these players, and we just discussed it on LBins, on LB's channel, of course. It feels like it's a risk worth taking. You know, you only need one of them to turn into this, to maximize their potential. And given how these, three of the hottest prospects on the centre-back market, I would like to think that at least one of them would reach that potential imaginary hypothetical ceiling. Who that will be, I don't know. Instinctively, I feel like it might be... I feel like Hayes might be the one to have the... Yeah, my prediction is that in like 10 years' time, he'll be like the best player of the three at City. That's just a prediction, though. That's not really based on much. Again, very limited sample size. But there's a chance it could be Kusanov. There's a chance it could be Bar. There is a chance it could be none of them, obviously. But especially with Bar, I don't think a price has come out yet. But it might only be like, 15 or so million pounds, 15 to 20 million quid only. But at that price, it's a risk worth taking. He's already got all the physical attributes. He's already got nice on-ball work. Develop him a bit. Maybe he could become that guy. Maybe he could become that guy. We'll have to obviously wait and see, but I'm excited about it. Which centre-back do you think is going to have the best City career, though, and the best career generally? Kusanov, Hayes, or Bar? Of those three, let me know which you guys reckon. It's coming, General Stones. I ran into logistical issues, which were impossible to foresee. I won't go into the details of it, but we're now back on track. But we're sort of having to not start again, but go backwards a little bit. So patience. I'm going to work on it today, but realistically, it might not be until like maybe Thursday. After the PSG game. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But certainly this week, can guarantee that, and hopefully you'll find it's worth the wait. I'm sure it'll be a very good video. Marmouche to be number 7 makes total sense. Akanji, Ake, Stones will all probably be gone in 2 years unless they decide to play significantly fewer games. Yeah, well, Stones, I suspect, might actually be gone this summer. This summer he'll have 1 year left. So it's either City sell him or we let him run down his contract and he leaves on a free. I'd be very doubtful that he gets given a contract extension. So those are your two scenarios. Do you let him go for a free next year, or do you try to move him on now? I think that the latter probably makes the most sense. I think you keep Ake now, but maybe move him on the next year because his contract expires in 2027. So again, maybe by that point, Kusanov and Hayes are more integrated into the side. Maybe you can afford to sell Ake at that point. Also, it does depend on his fitness and injury situation. And then Akanji's also expires in 27. I suspect that Bar will be the... Bar will ultimately replace Akanji from a numbers perspective. Not in terms of like for like, because they aren't similar at all, but just purely from a numbers perspective. And you'd like to think, by 2027, that we've actually brought in some wide defenders. So I suspect that come 2 years from now, Stones, Ake, and Akanji, I think they'll all be gone, probably. And that's sad, but you got to move on. I think Akanji's 29. Stones and Ake aren't old by any means, but again, it's the injuries, the lack of availability isn't ideal. Isn't ideal. The Brazilian kid has the confidence he will be the best. Vinicius Cancelo 2.0 can play left back, right back, but vulnerable and weak to pacey wingers. Diaz will be a busy boy training these two young'uns. Yeah, big task for him. We've always had either a smelly defense or smelly attack. 19 to 21 smelly defense, 21-23 smelly offense, 23-25 smelly defense. We're trying to fix it. Both of them good enough to play for us. Brazilian needs a body build a bit, but otherwise I think they will work out now and in the long term. Yeah, you guys think Hayes, JSP, that's another shout to be fair. Kusanov, Hayes. Most people saying Hayes. Hayes seems to fit all the pet boxes. Hayes seems the most talented. Kusanov best straight away. I do agree with that, I think, CB. I think I do agree with that. Bar's most likely to not make it. Money's on Hayes to become the best of the three. Yeah, again, the biggest question mark is over Bar because, again, 10 games in La Liga, 18 years old. It's a punt. That's what it is. He might not make it at City. You know, if his loan deal goes badly, he might not even see a City game or a City minute. So there's a lot of... We've bought an idea of a player in Bar rather than buying a player, if that makes sense. But again, it's an idea. It's an expensive idea to an extent, but it's worth the gamble. It's worth the gamble for City. You know, loads of other clubs were in for him, or rather they were floating around, wanted him. Lots of people who analyse football, very upset that City have got him rather than their club. That should tell you everything you need to know, that this is a very exciting prospect. There could be a very good player in there. There could be. Again, far too early to tell, but he's got the right physical traits, mentally seems to have the right traits, tidy on the ball right now, and we will see what happens in the long term. It's basically impossible to judge him entirely, given he's played 10 games for the worst team in La Liga this season so far. You know, how does that translate to City? It's hard to look at that sample size. That's why I'm going to back off on the Bar analysis video until maybe, I don't know. Well, we'll see where we get to, but certainly it's not going to come out this month. It might not even come out in February. I might want to watch a bit more of him before I conclude, but we shall see what the schedule says. We'll see. Kanji's only a wide defender, indeed. The issue of him is that it's an out of possession concern. I think it would be for Pep. Bar in 2027 is going to be 7'6". Indeed, Faisal, indeed, yeah. With Walker going, we have no true fullbacks. Judging by the fact Bar's the fourth best dribbler in La Liga, he's probably coming for Stones' place. Brilliant. Sad to see the trail back for last. So shortly, well, it peaked, didn't it? I said at the time, this is the peak of City. It's not going to get better than this. And a lot of those players peaked in that season. And they, some of them gave up their long-term career in health for the treble. So it was like the perfect situation in that respect. I think Hayes isn't ready for City. He's very young. Hope he proves me wrong. Again, he's 19 years old. That's the thing. Are we going for Douglas Luiz this Jan because we are still lacking a DM, or Pep's about to tweak a tactic? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Are we bringing in this fullback who can play sort of in midfield? I don't know. Bailey says, same frame as Van Dijk. Yeah, we were touching on his height earlier. Worth the risk, would be a low fee, buying directly from the club in Africa. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but you're absolutely right. We're not buying from that Fabrizio tweet was just wrong on so many levels. We're not buying from the Spanish side. Now, why is he? Now, what is that? I'm just confused at the contract situation. Let me refresh it, because I think he signed for this club 4 years ago, and he's still technically there, but has hardly played for them. Now, is that because he wants to stay with them, and the idea was he's waiting for a big money move so that the Sierra Leone club gets a lot of money? Is that the idea? In which case, that's a great, way to leave the club. I don't know, but let me make sure I'm not tripping here. I'm not going insane. To be fair, it doesn't actually say how many appearances he has, because on his official career stats, it only does as of matches played from the 20th of December. It just looks really weird to see, like, appearances 0 for AIK Freetong. I'm going to call them Freetong. So he's still technically signed with them. He signed with them when? In 2021. In April 2021. And then he was loaned out to a team in Sierra Leone. Another team in Sierra Leone, sorry. From 2023. I can't speak today. 2022 through to 2024. And then he went to Spain. It's very odd what's going on there. I mean, again, I don't know enough about the situation. My prediction is that maybe like Bar wants to stay with Freetong officially until like a big club inevitably came in to give money to Freetong. You know, a lot of money. Maybe that's what it was. So I have no idea when his contract runs up with Freetong, because there's no information on that I can find, not on like Transfermarkt, which is where I normally go to for contracts. But yeah, it's just a really interesting situation that he's been with his club for 4 years and he's had like loans with a different Sierra Leone club and then with La Liga. It's interesting. I love using this phrase. The concept of Bar is very good. Yeah, exactly. The concept of the player. We don't know enough about him to comment on him in absolute terms. Just realised how is AK-45 and Hayes going to communicate with each other, neither speak English. With the power of, you know, rhythm and love. Hayes will probably play it right back. I would question that first bit. I don't know if he's built for right back as of yet. We'll see, though. I think Hayes, captain for all the teams who played at youth level. Junior Diaz, Luis thinks, in terms of personality. Yeah, Diaz is going to have to do a lot of partnering. A lot of partnering. Money schemes express. Scouted by someone at Real Valladolid. Brought in on loan to play in the B team, but impressed enough to make the first team. And yeah, again, it's just interesting. He's been there since 2021. And he's had all these interesting loans. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but I think that with the numbers that are being suggested, it's not going to be like more than £20 million there or thereabouts, which is good. Just find Scalia. Love from India, big up. There it is, big up. We didn't need Marmish. He'll be another Jack Grealish. He's very, very different to Jack. Bar doesn't seem like it'll take to complete the deal if we are already discussing with Lawn 100%. Yeah, seems already done and dusted. I see Hayes as a Bereza regen. That's a bold statement. I'm not sure about that. I think football's changed a lot since then, in fairness. Is there an AFCON this year? I don't know. He wants the Brazilian club to have the oil money. That's it. That would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. Power of friendship is strong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guys, leave a like on the video. It's free, and it does really, really help out your boy. Yeah, Marmish is not a bad signing. I don't know where that's come from. Echeverry will be an interesting one. I wonder whether this will be the season for Echeverry. I imagine he might just get incorporated slowly into the team, because, again, he is a child, so he could be very good, of course. I'm yet to scout him fully, and I think that based on what people are saying about him, he will have a long-term future at City, which is very exciting. But it's always weird with those signings where they're confirmed ages ago and then they're brought in at a later date. It's like there was never really too much hype for like the Alvarez one when he eventually came into the side, because all the hype happened in like Jan. It's like a similar thing with like Savio as well. Like that deal was done months before the event, and then we were talking about transfers. Like, we've already confirmed Savio. So it's like one of those maybe. Yeah, there will be a video on him as well. I think we'll play it with two up front with Marmoush. No. Great signings, just a midfield needed now, 100%. 100%. Yeah, so that is a Juma bar. You love to see it. And it's just putting to bed this idea that you can't buy in Jan. Of course, the market's trickier. Of course it is. And it's going to be more expensive. And you're going to have to pay a premium. But like we were discussing it on like Judge Mo's channel yesterday. I just don't know why Arsenal, I know this isn't an Arsenal stream, but I just don't know why Arsenal are not seemingly going in for like an actual player who can actually improve them now and be there in the long term as well. If you got to overpay a little bit, you got to overpay. You guys should actually be spending more than us. You're actually in a title race still. You're only like 6 points behind, aren't you? I know there's a game in hand, but I know you've got to go to Anfield, but it's not over for you. It's not over for you. It is for us. Like, we're done. The damage is done for us, sadly. We shot ourselves in the foot too many times for us to hope of coming back into this title race. But Arsenal, you can still do it. You can still do it. You had a stinky summer. You know, City had a relatively stinky summer as well. Jan is there for a reason. Use it. Utilize it. Is loaning out Hayes something City would do? I don't think we can afford to do that given our defensive injury crisis. I think it makes more sense to keep him at the club and integrate him gradually into the side. That's what I'd like to see. I don't want to see Kusanov and Hayes starting together straight from the off. You partner Diaz with Hayes, for example. That just makes a lot of sense. I think Hayes will need his hand held, but that's absolutely fine. Again, he is a baby. He is a child. But it makes a lot of sense for me to keep him at the club, keep him around players like Ruben Diaz, Gvardiol, learn from them. Yeah, Wirtz and Jan is crazy. Again, there are expectations you have to have, you know, realistic expectations. Deals can be made. Of course, they're going to be harder. Of course, you're not going to get the creme de la creme players, you know, like the absolute elite. But in fairness, we've got Marmouche. We've got Dzeko in the past. And we nearly got Mahrez in the past. And we did get Laporte in the past. And I know that it was an offshoot from the summer deal, but Liverpool got Van Dijk in the past. So it can happen. Is Marmouche in Manchester? I think he's having his medical today, isn't he? I think someone said he's having his medical today and he's going to be announced either tomorrow or the day after, I think. I think that's a thing. What do I think of McAtee? I like him, but I just don't know whether he's going to be good enough to start for City long term. I'm African, and I think Bart is at least 26. No, he's 18, mate. He's 18, yeah. We needed some... He's actually 6'5". Kusanov and Vitor. Yeah, so now the interesting thing is that City have signed 3 players who are all very good in the air based on the data. Again, haven't scouted Vitor enough yet. People tell me he's got a very powerful header. Kusanov has very good heading numbers. I will say that might change when he goes to the Premier League. But yeah, but Bar in particular is just an absolute monster. I'm probably in like a couple minutes, guys. I'm probably going to have to leave for like a minute because I've got some packages which I've got Royal Mail to come and collect, and I can see the postman now. So I'm going to take my earphones out so I can actually hear the door. So if I leave, or when I leave for like a minute or two, don't worry, I'm coming back. Don't go anywhere. I'm just sorting out a collection. It's all good. He is indeed 18. It's crazy. Marmouche the next verse, says Hole in the Goat. Fairs. Hello, Nick. How you doing? Claudia Echeverry is coming in when? Probably Feb. Where are you going, postman? The postman's gone. Come collect my packages. What a dickhead. Right, well, that's upset me. I thought he was the one. I thought he was the one. But he wasn't, as it turned out. Pep said big, tall, strong, and she took it seriously. It's got to happen, man. We're too frail at the back at times. The box defending's not good enough. Like, we don't need that graph to tell us how bad the box defending has been, but that graph has just been backing up what we've been saying all season, that it's not been good enough. You need to address that. You can address that with tall lads who are good in the air. That's what Bar is. Vitor and Kusanov aren't necessarily tall, but they are decent in the air. It helps. It's good. It's lovely. And that is, if we like run through the defense now. So let's think about what do we have not next season. Let's maybe go the season after. So when Bar comes in. So the start of the 2026 season. Let's assume Bar goes out on loan to Lawn for a year, comes back. Okay? By that point, Stones is gone because his contract has expired anyway. Even if you think that he's leaving on a free, he'll have gone by then on a free. Bar at him, shut up. Akanji and Ake will be, if they survive this summer, for example, they will have 1 year left on the contract. So I think that they will both be gone. So I think by the start of not next season, the season after, I think that all three of those players will be gone. So let's assume that for argument's sake. Walker's obviously will have gone permanently by then as well. So what will the makeup of our defence be with the players that we have right now? Let's briefly touch on that and then try to identify what we need to build on. Left-back options by that point, based on the fact that we are signing centre-back after centre-back after centre-back, that tells me that Gvardiol is just going to be a permanent left-back option. I think that just seems to make sense. Otherwise, you've got... Because if we touch on the centre-backs for a moment, like the centre-backs who, unless they change their game, are not going to be able to play at full-back, we're talking Diaz, Kusanov, Hayes, Bar as our pure centre-back options. That's 4 between 2 places. Now, again, maybe we can play centre-backs out at full-back, but at this stage, and again, maybe they'll develop, I don't see any of them being able to play at full-back, or you'd want them to play at full-back. They can maybe do a job, but that's not the same as that. So the fact that we've got 4 centre-back options there tells me that you don't really need Gvardiol to be playing centre-back. He could do it, but probably not. So that makes our left-back options Gvardiol, and Ake's gone. Maybe Doyle. Maybe Doyle as an option who can also play at centre-back and at left centre-back and left-back. Maybe. Alternatively, we bring in a left-back. But let's be positive and suppose that Doyle is going to be good enough. This is a very young defence, by the way. It'll be Gvardiol, Doyle as the left-sided options. Again, maybe we bring in a left-back, but who knows. Diaz, Bar, Kusanov, Hayes. And then we need options at right back. Now, maybe, again, I don't know what Rico Lewis's future is. Maybe Rico Lewis is good enough to just be a permanent backup right back. I don't know. He can certainly fill in there, can't he? In which case, if we're to accept that, then we've got 7 out of... You need at least 8, don't you, really? If you've got a back 4, in an ideal world, you'd have a good option, 2 good options for each position, and preferably even more than that with versatile players. So it seems to me that there is a world where we actually only need to sign 1 more defender, and that is a fullback. You know, preferably a versatile one who can also do a job at left back. You know, that's why Cambiaso looks really interesting. But that sort of puts it into perspective in a way at how good this rebuild could be. That's assuming all those players work. That might not happen. You know, Bar, maybe he fails at Lon. Maybe he's not good enough. Maybe players get injuries. But in terms of a body's perspective, that's looking pretty healthy. Would you say? I don't think I've missed any players there. And that gives me 8 names if we sign this fullback, who we hopefully bring in this summer. And that simply must happen with Walker going. We need to do that. Now, Rico Lewis isn't going to be good enough to be a permanent right back. He's not a right back, is he? I just wonder whether he's going to... I just wonder what his long-term future is. Maybe he will just become a utility player, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You need those players in the squad. So that's the defense basically rebuilt and done. Wilson Esperance, I'm going to say is not going to be good enough based on what I've seen. Rival fans will be seething hearing you say we only need 1 more defender. It's true though. It is true. It is true. We do need. It's just being practical because again, I'm looking ahead. We're losing. Based on this, we're losing 4 defenders in Walker, Ake, Stones, and Akanji, you know, within 2 years. All 4 of them are gone, aren't they? So you need to bring in these players. We've brought in 3. That's nice. We need to bring in at least 1 more, and we were down a body anyway. That's why I'm suggesting Doyle. You know, I don't know if he's going to be good enough, but maybe he can be good enough to be a backup left back, you know? They don't have to be the out-and-out option if Gvardiol is that option. And you guys are bringing up academy players. And yeah, it is a shame because that probably means that JSP is done as a long-term City player, in all honesty. If you're bringing in 3 very young defenders, it suggests to me that what you're saying is you don't have faith in the current options there in terms of like the young defenders. So JSP is probably not going to make it as a City player, but that's absolutely fine. You know, I think someone said that our 16-year-old bracket in terms of defenders is actually more talented in any event. So obviously we'll have to wait and see there. I'm sure JSP will be a Premier League level player. I'm sure he can make it at a top level somewhere, but chances are it's not going to be here. That's what the message is, clearly, based on that activity. We've got over 250 watching, which is wonderful. Let's get to over 150 likes. Come on. Get them up. Get them up. Get the likes up. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers. That is my first proper milestone. Maybe we would have reached it already had I got the bloody Marmouche video out yet, but I refuse to rush content. It's going to be worth the wait. We only do good videos. Yeah? In it. Daniel, the fuck? Shut up, Musty. Barnes credit City is dependent on his loan move. If we saw him as a guarantee, we would have brought him in immediately because we need his physicality. And yeah, that is the thing. He can't. No one can say he's a guarantee. No one can sit here. If anyone is saying Bar is 100% the next big thing and he's 100% going to make it as an elite world-class centre-back, no one can truly guarantee that. The sample size is simply not big enough. 10 games in La Liga for the worst team in the league is not enough to go off. It's just not. You can make conclusions as to what he is as a footballer. You can make conclusions as to his physical profile is already there, and that's beautiful, and that's wonderful, and that's nice. It's far too early. It's far too early. So it makes sense for him to not get brought in now. It makes sense for him to develop somewhere else. And as Musty said earlier, Ligue 1 France is a great year is a great place to develop, even if it's only for a year. So that's exciting. Big up to Lawn if they do take him on loan. Lawn on loan. Is this the centre half in the 16-year-old age bracket, Dave? If so, wonderful. Wonderful. Maybe that's more the thinking. Because, I mean, we're even getting into... these guys are so young. We're getting into territory where when they're in, like, their early 20s and mid-20s, we'll be talking about Ruben Diaz as we are talking now about, Akanji and Stones and Ake, like, in terms of age. And, like, he'll need to be ultimately replaced. And that's mad because Diaz is still got so many years left in him, but such is the age of these players. Like, they're literal teenagers. Which is, again, really exciting. Just let JSP go and get this Cambiaso lad, says Herbal is quality. He covers what we need and the defense is set for years. I think that's probably correct, Herbal, isn't it? Will Marmouche play against Chelsea? I wouldn't be surprised if he came off the bench, maybe, because we know we've established now he can't play on Wednesday. He can't play against PSG. So the earliest opportunity is Chelsea, and I think that we'll maybe see Kusanov and Marmouche on the bench against Chelsea. I don't think we'll see Hayes. Actually, no, we probably will, given the injuries. We might see all of them on the bench. In terms of actually seeing game time, I think Marmouche will be the only one to get some game time. But we'll see. Because he's obviously the most experienced. He's the most ready to be just, to be thrown into it. Everyone else is a baby. Will I do a Man City Dream Team video? I mean, we can do a Dream Team now. Do you mean like the best Man City team of all time? Is that what that means? Let me know. We'd have to do a video for that. I could do that right now. Don't you worry. Bar's 100% the next thing. Bar's going to make it. Shut up, Spartacus. I mean, as a City player, though, Jack. As a City player. Could Hayes be someone who gets loaned out? I don't think so. I think he'll stay. Guys, all fun and games, then we proceed to lose versus PSG because of no DM. Next day, City will announce Marmouche. Winner's been classified, to get it wrong. I can't believe we haven't got a midfielder yet. Getting worried, says Callum. I'd like to... Look, again, I'm going to reserve judgment until the start of Feb, when the window closes. We do need... I'm not even going to say, Royal Mail. I'm not even going to say we need a midfielder. I'm going to say we need a player to do that. Right, the postman is here to come and collect my package. He's brought a van and everything. So I'm going to... Where are you going? I was just opening his van. I'm getting concerned. Like, come collect my packages. So I'm going to be gone for, like, literally a minute to 2 minutes. In the meantime, I don't know, entertain yourself. Someone think of, like, a great question that everyone can come up with. Wait, what was this? Best players of all time in any league. Oh, I thought you wanted, like, a Man City specific one. Yeah, get your all-time Man City 11 in the chat whilst I'm away. There we go. Right. I'll be back, guys. I'll BRB. I want your all-time City 11 in the chat by the time I come back. BRB. Gosh, I'm back. Right, where's the button to go back? There it is. Boom. Yeah, these are some great all-time City teams, guys. Well done. When do you think Marmouche will get his first minutes? I think it's Chelsea. Right, okay. I'll do my all-time 11. Maybe that will inspire you guys. Edison in goal. Kyle Walker at right back. Diaz Company, centre backs. Left back's probably the trickiest option, because Cancelo had the biggest peak, but it was only for 2 years. So I think Gvardiol will probably get there, but again, this is only his second season. So I'm going Kolarov for now. He's my boy. I'm going Kolarov. I think City have got so many great central players throughout their, throughout like the past 10 to 15 years or so. I'm actually not going to include wide players. I'm going to play a diamond midfield with 2 strikers up top. So I'm going 4-4-2 diamond. So that allows me to have Haaland and Aguero up top. I think Haaland's already there. Obviously Aguero. And the midfield becomes Yaya, David Silva, Fernandinho, and Kevin. That is what I would do. That is my team, I think. I know it probably should be Rodri over Fernandinho nowadays, shouldn't it, actually? Yeah, it probably should. It probably should, based on the fact he won a Ballon d'Or. So yeah, I'd go 4-4-2 diamond. I think you need to do that, because otherwise, again, I'm not having to go at Mahrez, Sterling, etc. Great players, but look at our central options, man. You can't leave out any of Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Rodri. You've got to have them all in that team. So that's my all-time team. Wingers are hard. That's why I don't even include them. Bar's 6 foot. I think he's 6'5", isn't he? Yeah, it's mental. One of the most exciting times as a City fan now, since the last few windows have been pretty stale. Would have been nice to see more of the academy come through, though, says Sam. It would have been nice. It would have been nice. Hey, Rico Lewis has come through. I know Oscar Bob's not like a local lad, but he's still technically in the academy. Oscar Bob is coming through. McAtee's getting minutes. So that's nice. That is a thing. Now sometimes they just walk around our way. How will we replace De Bruyne? We can't, Akash. Here's some teams. Edison, Kolarov, Diaz, Company, Walker, Rodri, Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, Aguero, Mahrez. Big up the Foden shout, man. Players I've watched: Hart, Company, Diaz, Kolarov, Walker, Silva, De Bruyne, Yaya, Sterling, Aguero, and Mahrez. This is why I like doing the diamond with the strikers, because you don't have to have the decision of who do you pick, Aguero or Hall, and you can have both. You can be greedy. You can be greedy. Yeah. That's looking good. You opted for Cancelo there. That's fairs. There you go. You see the diamond. Big up. Stones has the left back. You're squeezing him in. Naveen asks, when's the midfielder coming? Naveen, I do not know. I do not know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. What have you missed? We've just been, not missed too much, to be fair. We've just been discussing the bar situation. We've been discussing the transfer window generally and the total rebuild of our defense. Shall we look ahead to the PSG game? Shall we look ahead to the PSG game, though? Because I feel like there's not too much for me to say about bar that I can really give you. Let me just have, again, are there any more interesting statistical bits I can tell you about? Losses in own third. So again, I guess that sort of points to the fact that he wants to try to play out from the back. He's one of the worst in terms of losses in his own third per 90. But again, a lot of that's down to the fact that he does want to play. And again, that will come with time, of course. So I don't think that's too much of an issue, in all honesty. Anything else to discuss? Yeah, attempts a lot of forward passes, which is nice. Barely makes progressive runs, but again, so many nice switches and nice forward passes. That's crazy. His progressive passes, which are over 40 meters in length, 94% accurate. That's interesting. His passes get more accurate the longer they are. Like, his passing accuracy from 0 to 20 meters is only 25%. How interesting. Those are progressive passes, in fairness. How interesting. Wonder why that is. I need to look into him more. That's an interesting factoid, though. Cool. As I say, that'd be a task for like February or maybe even March Nobbins, depending on what the situation is there. Musty, your dream team was like, what is this? What is this? Without Rodri, without an ACL, shut up. Loved Negredo. He was the boy. Negredo was the absolute boy. Kusanov smiled. Yeah, big up. He gets better when he's doing longer stuff, seemingly. Yeah, the PSG game, guys. Now, let's just refresh ourselves of the table. I'm pretty sure we did the maths last time, when we lost against Juventus. And I'm pretty sure we did the maths and we basically concluded that as long as Man City, even in a world where Man City lose to PSG, so that's worst case scenario, because that means PSG go ahead of us, of course, because they're currently behind us, which is mad, just by a point. If they beat us, they go ahead of us, even if we lose. As long as we beat Bruges, then we will qualify. Now, I don't want it to be the case that we have to beat Bruges in order to guarantee that we qualify, but I'm just trying to put it into a little bit of perspective that it's not the end of the world if we don't beat PSG. If we do beat PSG, then that's great. It means we don't even have to really worry about the Bruges situation. But that is the state of play. So the game tomorrow is not... I'm not saying that we should, heavily rotate and sack it off, obviously. But what I am saying is that there might be a potential eye on the mental fixtures that we have coming up in the league, for example. Like we have, again, just to refresh your memory, apologies for the PTSD, whatever. Chelsea, that crunch one against Bruges, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Spurs, Forest, Brighton, Man United. That takes us all the way through to early April. There are no easy games for City. Even home against Brighton is not easy. The only easy one is Leyton Orient, and even that's away. So again, I'm not saying that we have to sack it off, obviously, but I am saying that don't think it's the end of the world if we don't win. In terms of like lineups, though, I still want us to try to win it, and I still want us to have the momentum. I don't want us to, have all these nice games, and then we just like throw that away, So I'd still set up strongly, obviously. And in fact, in terms of our defense, I think that we basically have to set up in a certain way, don't we? Just because of availability. Gvardiol is going to have to play at left back. Diaz and Akanji are going to have to play at centre back because we don't have Ake. So then it just comes down to Lewis and Nunes. And Nunes has played at right back, pushing up to right wing really well. Competently for the past couple of games with Foden, and that allows Foden to invert. So I'd probably run the same back four. I'd probably go... I would go Ederson in goal, but it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Ortega in goal. And... in fact, yeah, I think it would be the... So therefore, I think it's going to be the exact same team that we saw against Ipswich. The only difference is being Savio in for Doku and Bernardo in for Gundogan. I would predict the rest of the team to be untouched. And I think that might make some sense as well. It's a strong team. I think that, again, people will say, why are you dropping Doku? It's not about dropping Doku. It's just about thinking about which player is going to be more suited to play PSG and how they set up defensively. Doku, who's a low block specialist, or Savio, who's more of a mid-block-ish specialist, and also high line as well. I think Savio makes more sense. PSG are not going to camp and defend with 11 men throughout the entirety of the game, especially at home, especially when they probably need to win the game. It makes more sense for me for Savio to start. Still have Doku off the bench as an impact player for this game, of course. But I just think Savio makes a lot more sense against PSG. And yeah, it doesn't matter who we play at right back. Barcola's going to have a field day, but we don't really have that many options. I'd like Akanji to be able to go there, but we don't have the centre-backs right now. And of the centre-backs we've just bought, none of them are eligible to play against PSG. So it's irrelevant. It is irrelevant. What do you guys think, though? I think we batter them. They don't have Messi or Neymar this time. No, indeed, but they do have some interesting players. Like their midfield is very good with Ruiz, Vitinha, Zaire-Emery. They've got bloody Theo's brother in defence. They've got Nuno Mendes. That left side's going to be absolute hell for us to deal with. Mendes and Barcola is going to be horror. So if Foden is playing out at right midfield, he's going to have to put in the shift he put in against West Ham, where he was basically a right back at times in that game. The defensive numbers he was coming up with were mental. So a lot of support for whoever our right back is. I've not watched the training, mate. Can't wait for Kassam to 2-foot another centre back in trains to guarantee his place. My centre half, brilliant. Peter thinks we crush PSG. I hope so. United have told club ambassadors, including legendary captain Brian Robson, they will have their salaries slashed. This club, man. I feel like in a football club, the main areas that you can cut from is like player wages and transfer fees, rather than like non-playing expenses. It's very unusual what's going on at United. I don't think I'd be very happy if I was a United fan. I think we'd batter them. Yeah, big up to Uzbekistan, but yeah, and make sure to not spam, 100%. They don't have Mbappe, they don't indeed. But again, they only need a couple of tricky players for us to be scared. The Kusanov and Uzbekistan flag spam city post is nice. Barcola's finished. JSP vs Barcola, I'll be there. Yeah, just you. Just you, Spartacus. Just need Nunes to not pull E90 game against Barcola, 100%. Yeah, and even in that game, he was solid defensively. He just, like, gave it away randomly with the passing. Randomly gave it away. I'm not randomly looking at something here, by the way. I'm looking at a monitor of a potential lineup. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to think, like, what else might we be able to do? What else could work? I don't think anything else would make sense, to be honest with you. It would make no sense to start both Doku and Savio, for example. That would be odd. De Bruyne, obviously. Don't know why I'd rest him. Haaland, yes. Well, I do know why I'd rest him, but you know what I mean. Kova has to. Bernardo got a full rest against for the Ipswich game, didn't he? So he's obviously going to start. Yeah, we're sort of limited. We're a little bit limited. We're still in that awkward period where we're not able to properly use our defenders and new signings yet. Still waiting for players to come back from injury with, you know, Ake and Bob. I've no idea when Stones is coming back. I've no idea what's going on there. Ake, I think, is a little bit less serious. Again, not sure exactly when that is. But hopefully Bob can come back soonish also. I don't think so, Louise. Is who better than Singo Heartthrob? Nuno Mendes is finished. We're beating them 2-0. I don't know, Shroud. I would have, you know, my thoughts on him. I would have liked him. Hello, Georgie. Nobbins Fan TV. Great. Poison United, says Staffy. Yeah, crazy. What do you think of Anthony United signing him for 100 mil and sending him on loan to Betis? That might be the worst signing in Premier League history. It might be when you consider the price and the impact and what has transpired now. It's got to be up there, hasn't it? It's got to be up there. Surely. He did Bozo at the end, yeah. Great point, Jack. Great point. Yeah, Bernardo needed a rest. Doku right back, Savio left back, JSP left centre back, Diaz right centre back. I'll be there. Yeah, again, you'll be on your own, Spartacus. When are we able to use them? We can use them for the Chelsea game ahead, Doctor. I think it's just we've got to wait for the league phase stage to end until we can use the new signings in the Champions League, I believe. I think there's also something like you can only register 3 new players for the Champions League. Is that right? I believe. So I'd expect, if that was the case, I'd expect, you know, Kusanov to definitely get registered. It depends how many other players we sign. Right now, you would be registering Hayes, wouldn't you? And I don't know. You know, we've got Echeverry as well. Might bring in some more players. We'll have to wait and see. But then there's also the rule about if they're young enough. Because I've played Football Manager. I hated registering players, though. I just try to auto-do it and let the computer do it for me. I hated registering. Something like if they're young enough, they don't count. Or something like that. I don't know. Are we actually going to play Nunes? I think it should be Rico, says Rafe. I don't know, mate. I actually don't know. I guess that you got to pick your poison in a way. Who do you want to be dealing with Barcola? The other thing is, I suppose, if you play Nunes instead of Lewis, it makes it a bit easier from a false winger perspective. It means that we can more easily play Savio out at left wing, but play Foden and De Bruyne in the centre. Because you can have Nunes pushing up to the right. So that is the benefit of that. In the same way that Walker, despite not having a good season last year, he was still effective in allowing that false winger situation to happen. PSG have not scored at home only twice. Right, so we're going to concede. Great. Yeah, that's the one, Rafe, exactly. As I said in the Discord server, the Anthony deal is the worst monetary transaction made by a business organization. It's a great point. It's a great point. Yeah, just commit at this point. Does the league phase include the playoffs? Or do we have to wait? I think they include the playoffs, LeBron, I think. I don't know. I might be talking bollocks. I think in Feb, isn't it, Breeze? If they're under 21, they're not registered. Okay. so Hayes can just get thrown in, can he? I think playing Nunes keep the chemistry going. Yeah, again, I know that Nunes hasn't been brilliant the last 2 games, but he has been competent, you know. I think it's been better than any Kyle Walker right-back performance this season. You might say that's not saying a lot, but it's a thing. And he also does help provide offensive function. Defense, that's the thing, Dave, isn't it? That is the thing. Pocketed Vinny as well last year, says Naveen. Yeah, true. I want to Kanji it right back. Kusanov's not going to be able to start, I'm afraid. B, he can't start in the Champions League yet. So he will not be available. So that can't happen. Oh, dear. But you don't even get knocked down this time, do you? You don't even get knocked down this time. Nunes was good against Ipswich. He was, yeah. He wasn't like wonderful, but he did a job, didn't he? And he allowed Foden to drift inside, and that allowed Foden and De Bruyne to play in the centre. So yeah, he did a job, and he was absolutely fine, defensively competent, and it's all lovely, lovely. Nobbins, Nunes' pace will help him against Barcola, says Faisal, and that is the thing as well. He's got the legs, he's got the running power, the pace, and also just the strength as well to maybe like just twat into him, yeah? So could be a thing. Could be a thing. That's probably why I would do that, especially given the past couple of games. Why not? When is the verdict? No idea, Rio. Allegedly, it might be in March, but we'll have to wait and see. Nobbins on my touchline talk. Yeah, big up. Nunes right back quicker than Lewis. Yeah, 100% far more physical. Do you think the new signings would travel with the squad to Paris? Would there be a benefit to that? I don't know. Vibes, I guess. Fun's much better with someone on his right overlapping. Even if he can't defend, it improves others. Yes, because if someone's on the right overlapping, that means that he is able to actually play in the centre. O'Reilly left back, Diaz centre back, Vio centre back, Akanji right back. I don't know if I want to throw him in there against PSG. Why are you looking into my soul? Because I'm addressing the chat. Hello? That's why. That's why. This is an engaging show. Do you reckon we can do Marmouche false winger on the left with Yoshko pushing up? That might be in my script. It might be in my script. Which signing am I most excited about? So far, even though I said earlier, I think Hayes is going to be the longer term better player. I think short term, I'm really excited by Kusanov. I know I said a lot of, they weren't negatives, they were practical, actual things. You know, he is young. But in terms of like watching a player, I think Kusanov's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun to watch. Like when I was like watching his games for long, I was like nearly out of my seat, like at the tackles that he was doing. I haven't like got excited about, you know, defensive actions like that in a minute. So I think Kusanov is going to be the one, to be honest with you. Even with Marmouche coming in, I'm still most excited by Kusanov. I think it's going to be really fun. Apply for Sky Sports commentator. I'll get right on that, mate. Marsh's medical is today. Maybe confirmed tomorrow. I think he'll play against Chelsea. I think he could maybe see the bench against Chelsea. I'd be very surprised if he just started. Very surprised. O'Reilly and Cove, a double pivot is needed to handle the quick PSG midfield, says Ricardo. Let's be honest with ourselves, though. We all know the midfield pivot's going to be Cove Bernardo. You know, it was Cove Gundo against Ipswich. Bernardo was given a rest for this game. I like O'Reilly, but he's obviously not going to get shoved in, is he? Which is a shame, because I think he should be trusted there at some point. Kova has to have a great game, says Bendiv. He just has to be competent, I think. Why can't Akanji? Oh, no, I think Akanji will start. I just don't think he'll start at right back, because we don't have the centre-backs. That's the thing. Big up to you, Naveen. Glad you enjoy it. Big up to you, Rio. Subscribe to and be my favourite City channels. Make sure you beat Arsenal for me. Want Liverpool over Arteta. Arsenal would be unbearable. Big up to you, mate. Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I think Liverpool will win the title. I think it'll happen. Ake is injured, yes. Unless there's new information, Ake's out, yes. Left back Gavardio, centre back Diaz, centre back Kusanov. No, but again, Kusanov can't play. He can't play because he can't be registered for the game. That's not an opinion. He can't play. So you'll have to change your back four, I'm afraid. I'd like him to be available, but Kusanov can't be registered for this PSG game, sadly. My thoughts on him are that he is an out of possession liability, and I think Pep would not want him at City, to be honest. Yeah, especially given how terrible we are out of possession this season. The idea of adding him into the side is nah. There's nothing happening there. I should go in the big. I am on the top six, but yeah, the big six shows. Big Steve isn't able to make it. You'd be great on there with Turkish and them lot. Thank you very much, Naveen. Hey, I'd like to, if they ask me, I would go on, but I've not been asked, so I can't. Who've been our last three players that have won the number 7? Cancelo, Sterling, and Milner, right? I assume. Not in that order. No, yeah, yes in that order. Yeah, Cancelo, and then it was Sterling, and then it was Milner. Yeah, because Milner left, Sterling came in, and they exchanged 7s. So, yeah, I believe those are the last 3 7s. Before that, it was Stephen Ireland. I don't think I made that up. I'm terrible with shirt numbers, though, in fairness. I had to double check that now. I feel like I've not made that up. But I may have done. I bloody may have done. No, I haven't. There you go. Okay, great. My brain's not going to shit. Yeah, Stephen Ireland was the 7 before that. I thought so. Do you think we sign anyone else? Yes, I do, Sam. You have to get to 5-0 before we get the kids on, indeed. That is mad. PSG hasn't lost a single match in their league. Don't worry, Phil. There's a first time for everything. Can you beat Arsenal for me? I'll try, Rio, but it is at the Emirates, so I've not got the faith. That's where I heard you talking about going over to League One stream a while ago, unless I was hearing things. He said, I think I redirected to him, or I was in the chat once, and he made me moderator, and then he said, I need to get you on at some point. So I'm open to it, but he's not asked me. So I can't go on his show unless he asks me. But he said, I need to get you on. So if he asks me to come on, I'll come on, of course. If I'm free, obviously. But yeah, I'm willing to go on basically everyone's channel. If you're nice to me, then I'll come on. If you play nice. Thinks that he should have kept Milner. Nah, he was he did all right at Liverpool, obviously, but he was obviously never the main man. And he was never going to get the game time he wanted at City. He wanted a more locked-on role. I think he wants to play more centrally as well, if memory serves. But we've got players like David Silva in the team and Kevin De Bruyne. It's a non-starter, and Fernandinho and Yaya at that time. It's a bit of a non-starter, isn't it? I think Nasri was even still at the club at that point as well. So you get me. He can't. I mean, no, he could play against Chelsea. Yes, he could. I have no idea, mate, to be honest. We'll be live for like another few minutes or so. I want to go off. I've not eaten yet today. I want to go have some lunch. Oh, what a cutie. I'd love it if we beat Arsenal and end their title dreams again. That would be class at the Emirates. I can't see it at the Emirates, personally. I think the best we can hope for is a draw. I think maybe even like a 0-0. I don't see us scoring against them. Stranger things have happened, obviously. But it would be hilarious, wouldn't it? It would be hilarious. We need good corners against PSG. we bring in Bar for like, you know, a second? Hack his channel. Again, like if he look, I don't think he's got my number, but he's got LB's number and LB has my number. So yeah, of course, if Lee wants me on, I'll go on. But I'm obviously not an Arsenal fan, so I don't know how. You know, maybe like when City play, maybe that's the idea. You're anybody's. No, because some people aren't nice, Dave. So no, not at all. 200 likes, is that the target? Now we've got over 150. I'm happy with that, to be fair. I'm happy with that. Could Grealish play Cove as a double pivot? I don't think so, Ricardo. Am I from Manchester? Yes, I am, Rio. You sound like the presenter from The Word. I don't know what that means. You sound like the presenter from The Word. Sorry, I don't know what that means. But yes, I am from Manchester and live in Manchester. I love to see a Nob Goldbridge stream with transfer talks, says Sarthak. Hey, if he wants to have a chat, because he's wrong about a lot. He's wrong about a lot when it comes to City. I don't mind having a pleasant conversation with him and correcting him and showing him and illustrating to him why he's very wrong. That's absolutely fine. What players did we discuss? It was mainly Bar, but we also just touched on like the defense in general. We touched on like the rebuild of the defense, and we also touched on the PSG game. Yeah, that exactly, Naveen. Exactly. It was fun against Forest, but Forest went man-to-man against us, and that made it very easy for us. You guys know that I have been a big Grealish defender, but I'm sorry, if you've been here for however many years and you still can't play well in the centre when you really should be able to, and when you've got like Kevin De Bruyne in the same team, I feel like you should be doing better. So it's a shame. Again, yeah, I'll go on. If people ask me to go on stuff, then I'll go on. If I want to do it, obviously. But yeah. Goldbridge is wrong about a lot and only about City. I only normally see the City takes, though, to be fair. But yeah, you know. Why not, says Nitesh, without Saka, Saliba. Oh, Saliba out? I thought he'd be back by then. We should be beating them. Of course, the midfield and defence will have to step up. And that's the issue. A lot of games are decided by the midfield, and they will absolutely batter us in the midfield. You have Rice, Moreno, etc., etc. That is the concern, isn't it? That is the concern. Right, guys. I think I'm going to shoot off because I don't think Hayes can either be because of a registration issue. I don't think they can. Not 100%. I don't think they can. But yeah, I'm going to shoot off because it's time for food. I will be back tomorrow for the PSG game. Ordinarily, I would do a stream tonight, but cheeks, I want to go work on my Marmige video. I want to finalize my thoughts, finalize the video, and try to get it out for you. You know, like Thursday, maybe like, yeah, because Thursday night football, who cares about that? So hopefully I can get it out on the Thursday. It will be worth it. And then after that, we'll see what other signings we make. But I'll then proceed to work on the Hayes video. And then if we don't sign anyone else, then I will have a look at Echeverry and Bar. But who knows, maybe there'll be another signing thrown in somewhere. And then after that, what I want to do, I've got lots of ideas in my head, which is good. Normally I'm stuck with ideas. What I want to do is a video on how we can replace Edison. Assuming that he's going to be leaving in the summer. You guys know who I want, I believe, but I'll go into it in a bit more detail with data and everything. Shout out to all my beautiful, beautiful channel members. You guys are the lifeblood of the channel, and it just really makes a creator's life so much easier to have this sort of financial support. So thank you guys so much for everything. Shout out in particular to the names in gold, because you guys are my fanatic ultras. Absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, hardcore ultras. We now have a couple of fanatic ultras as well, which is great to see. If you guys want to join this elite list of people, support the channel for as little as £3 a month, you can click the join button, or you can click the link in every single video description if you are able to. And if you would like to, you get lots of lovely perks, like your name in gold here, you get a little rat badge, you get access to exclusive emotes, and I can just visually see your comments a lot easier on my chat display. So you would just naturally be easier for me to read out your comments. So when it gets busy, you'll get priority. And also you get shout outs in all my normal uploads, regular uploads as well. Thank you guys for all the support. Big up as always. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the PSG watch along.